Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be learning how to make this dress. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, I have folded my pattern paper into two. I chopped out my shoulder measurement, came down to my armhole, bust point, on the bust, waist, hip, and the V, that's the backs. Then I chalked out my 3 inches for my neck. I came down to 1 inches for my shoulder slope and I curved my shoulder, chalked out my measurement, added 2 inches allowance and just sketched it out. So on that bust point line, I don't want my bust revealing too much. So I came up by 1 inches. So I came up by 1 inches and from that 1 inches, I'll be coming in by half an inch. So you come in by half an inch and you connect the lines together. For the neckline, as you can see, it is a V neckline. So what you do is from your neck, you just connect to that point. So I'll be connecting from my neckline to that point. So after connecting, what I'll be doing next is curving from that point to my under bust line. So using my curve ruler, I'm just going to curve from that point to my under bust. After curving, you just connect it to the down part of the under bust, but you come up by like half an inch. You just slant it up by half an inch. So for the basque effect, as you can see, the slant didn't start from the waist. So I'll be coming down by 3 inches from the waist. I came down by 3 inches. And from that 3 inches, I'm just going to slant to the length of the gown. So after slanting, we are done with the front part. Now I'll go ahead to cut out my front pattern. After cutting it out, I'll be using the front to cut the back. So let's leave the pattern like this for now. So I folded my back pattern into two and I chalked out 1 inches for my zip allowance and I made a straight line. What I'll be doing next is placing my front on my back pattern. After the zip allowance, I'll go ahead to trim it out. I'm sorry I didn't show the part where I was trimming the back pattern, but I've trimmed it out and this is what I have. So what I'll be doing is on that under bust line, that half an inch I came up at, I'm just going to chalk it at my back pattern. So you chalk your line at that same line on the back pattern. Then you chalk your under bust line on the back pattern as well. So I'll go ahead to take out my front pattern. After taking it out, the dots lines, you can see these two dots line, that's the under bust line. I'm just going to connect them together using my curve ruler. So after connecting it now, as you can see, we have our back yoke. So I'll be using 3 inches for the neckline. I used 3 inches in the front pattern, so I'll be using 3 inches for the back pattern as well. And my neck depth, I'll be coming down by 2 inches. It is a high neck, so I'll go ahead to use my curve ruler to curve out my neck measurement. And I'll be coming down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope. Then I'll make a straight line to meet the neckline. So as you can see, this is the back pattern. I'll go ahead now to cut out my back pattern. We are done for the back. So for the front pattern, you can go ahead now to cut out that cup area, or let's just call it the yoke part. So you go ahead to cut it out. After cutting my pattern, this is what we have. As you can see, I have the up part and the down part. So I want some pleats at that front yoke part. So what I'll be doing now for to get my pleats is I'll be slashing and spreading. So I just wanted a small pleat, so I'll just slash and spread a little and I'm just going to cut, but I won't get to the end of the pattern. Just watch what I'm doing. So I placed it on a new pattern paper and I just traced it out just like this. So I'll go ahead now to cut it out. So as you can see, this is now the front yoke, the new front yoke. So I'll be cutting two for this and I'll be cutting this on a fold. So as you can see, I have some allowance for my pleating. So I'll pleat my cup area and I'll have some pleating. So now I'll cut out the patterns. So as you can see, I've cut out my fabrics, and after cutting them out, I'll be working on the front pattern for now. So for my front pattern, this is what it looks like. I'm not adding lining to my clothes, but if you want to add lining to it, you can go ahead, cut lining, and you turn it out with your main fabric. So what I'll be doing now is just piping the down part. I'm just going to fold that area and I'll sew. And for the front part, you can use your bias, or if you don't want to use your bias and you're not using lining, go ahead to fold it just like this and you sew. But I'll be using bias for this. So after biasing it and piping the down part, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I used my bias. So what I'll be doing next is I am just going to fold the down part into two, just like this, and I'll chalk the middle part of the down part. So after chalking it, I'll open it up and I'll be placing my cup on that middle line. So you place it on that middle part and you go ahead now to pleat the fabric till it gets to the end part of the down part. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'm going to pleat from the middle part till it gets to the end of my armhole. So after pleating, this is what it looks like, as you can see. And for the back, this is what the back look like. So I'm just going to weave that part when I'm done. So this is my back pattern. So I'll be taking out my patterns, and for the back now, I'll bias the neckline. So I'll go and bias the neckline. So as you can see, after biasing the neckline, this is what it looks like. So I'll be placing the yoke part on the down part of the back. So I'll place it just like this and I'll run a stitch on it. So I'll do the same thing for the other part. I'll run a stitch and close the zip allowance area as well. So after running the stitches and closing the zip allowance area, this is what I have. As you can see, you can go ahead now to place your zip, but for now I'm just going to leave it this way. So what I'll be doing next is placing my front pattern on the back pattern, just like this, and I'll be stitching on the shoulder part by half an inch on both sides. So after stitching, this is what I have. So for now, I'm just going to be pinning down the two parts together. So after pinning it down, I'll be taking my measurements. After taking my measurement, I'll go ahead to shape it. But when you're shaping, you leave like 1 inch on the armhole area because you'll be attaching your sleeve, and you also leave half an inch on the down parts. Then you stitch. After joining them together, this is what I have. I've gone ahead to place my zip also on my fabric. As you can see, my zip is already on my fabric, and I left 1 inch for my armhole joining. I'll be joining my sleeve, and I also left half an inch at the down part because I'll be joining my ruffles. So now to get the amount of fabric you need for your gathers, in this area what you need to do is place your tape on your shoulder line, and as you can see, my tape is on my shoulder line and my gown is stopping at 22 inches, as you can see, but I want the full length to be 34. So plus 1 inch sewing allowance, that's 35. So from that 22 inches, I'm going to be counting what I have left at that down part. So from that 22 to the down part is 14 inches that I have. So I'll be adding 1 inch for my sewing allowance. So as you can see, I went ahead to cut out a long fabric and I have 15 inches. So if you want a lot of gathers, you need more materials, but I'll just be working with what I have. So now what you'll be doing next is folding that down part and you stitch. So after folding the down part, what I'll be doing next is just pleating. So you go ahead to pleat your fabric. After pleating, This is what it looks like, as you can see. So what I'll be doing next is attaching my pleated area to the down part of my gown. So you attach it to the down part of the gown and you run a stitch on it, and you also do the same thing for the back part. So the fabric I have left, I have 12 inches. So I'll be using 11 inches for my length, and I folded it and I cut it out into two. So I have 11 inches for the two. So there is elastic on the sleeve. So I just chalked out 3 inches, placed my elastic and stitch. So after stitching, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So now I'll be attaching it to the gown. So guys, this is what the gown looks like. As you can see, after stitching, this is what it looks like. Now attaching my sleeve to the gown, what I'll be doing is folding the sleeve into two, just like this. After folding it into two, I'll go ahead now to notch that middle part. After notching the middle part, I'll be attaching it to the sleeve, and I'll just be making some little pleats on that area. So I'll just pleat it to the sleeve. So I'm done with the dress, guys. This is what it is looking like on my mannequin. As you can see, the dress is looking very pretty on the mannequin. I hope this video was helpful. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll say bye for now. Bye, guys.